Hey YouTubes, good day, God bless. Today we're going to talk about the fact that Muslims claim Jesus never said, I am God. So, the first thing we want to look at is the fact that Muslims are very proud and boastful that their God, Allah, has 99 names. So, let's see if Jesus claimed any of those names, shall we? Now, I've comprised a small list here. I could have made it a lot longer. But here we have names of Allah, that is the Muslim God, and what Jesus said. Al-Hakam, the judge, John chapter 5 verse 22. Al-Ba'ith, the resurrector, John chapter 5 verse 21. And in chapter 11 verse 25, Jesus actually says, I am the resurrection. Here's a huge one. Al-Haq, the truth, John chapter 14 verse 6. Let's take a look at that one. Jesus saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. The truth. Jesus just said, I am Al-Haq. Jesus just said, I am God. Not too hard to understand. How about Al-Muhyi, the giver of life? That's also in John chapter 5 verse 21. Al-Mu'id, the restorer, that would also be John chapter 5 verse 21. Here's two big ones. Al-Awwal, the first. Al-Akhir, the last. Let's take a look at those. Revelation chapter 1 verse 11. Jesus says, I am the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last. Revelation chapter 1 verse 17, Jesus said, fear not, I am the first and the last. Revelation chapter 22 verse 13, Jesus said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. The first and the last. Jesus just said, I am Al-Awwal and Al-Akhir. Jesus just said, I am God. How about the responder to prayer? Al-Mujib, John chapter 14 verse 13. Jesus said, ask anything in my name and I will give it. He didn't say the Father, he said I will. So Jesus is the responder to prayer. How about Al-Qayyum, the self-existing one? John chapter 5 26. And here's a huge one. An-Nur, the light. John chapter 8 verse 12. I also believe that's in Mark chapter 9 verse 5. Let's look and read exactly what it says. Then spake Jesus unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. Jesus just said, I am Al-Nur of the world. I am God. What else? How about the owner of all, Malik al-Mulk? That's in Matthew 28:18. How about Al-Jami, the gatherer? John chapter 10 verse 16. Now, here's the biggest one. Al-Qadir or Al-Jalil, either one you want to say, the all-powerful or the mighty. Revelation chapter 1 verse 8, Jesus says he is the Almighty. Let's take a look. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. Jesus just said, I am God. You can't argue with that. Okay, and I could have even made a lot longer of a list, right? A lot longer of a list. I just took stuff that Jesus actually said. Now, if we held this list to the same criteria, this list would be 0 because Allah never spoke any of these names. These are just names that Muslims have given to him. Nobody has ever heard from Allah, not even Muhammad himself. None of these names came from Allah. At least in the Bible, people wrote what God said to them directly. Okay, even in the Old Testament, God says, I am from everlasting and everlasting. That's one of Allah's names. But the point is, none of these names ever came from Allah. These are all things that Muslims have said, or that people that listen to Muhammad and Muhammad's claims. So Allah never once spoke this, and I challenge any Muslim to produce any proof that Allah ever said this. Now, this Jesus said. Now, if I was to add other stuff like Jesus is also called the faithful witness, I didn't put that on here because he didn't say that. That's what they said about him. But if I started to put in all that, this list would be even longer. But the point is, Jesus definitely said, I am God. Period. That leads me to Islam fails again. They lie and they lie. Jesus most certainly did say, I am God. So, we need to change that, and we need to change that, and make it Muslims should know that Jesus said, I am God. Good day, and God bless.